Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much effort you put in, people don't seem to notice you, appreciate you, or run after you? You might text first, you might show up for them, you might go out of your way to prove your worth, yet somehow it feels like you're invisible. They don't chase you, they don't value your presence, and sometimes, they even take you for granted. It stings. Because deep down, every single one of us wants to be wanted. We want people to fight for our attention, to see our worth without us begging for it. And when that doesn't happen, when silence answers our efforts, it leaves behind an emptiness that's hard to shake off. Think about those moments when you typed out a message and waited for hours, checking your phone over and over, hoping for a reply. Or those times when you gave so much of yourself to make someone feel valued, only to realize later that they barely even noticed. Maybe you have entered a room and felt like nobody's energy shifted, nobody looked up, nobody cared that you were there. These little moments build up, and they start whispering to you, maybe you're not enough, maybe people just don't see you as someone to chase. That inner voice is painful, and if you have ever heard it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The world teaches us, from the very beginning, that if you want something, you need to run after it. Chase opportunities, chase people, chase validation, and maybe, just maybe, you'll finally feel important. But the problem with this teaching is that it often backfires. The more we chase, the more it feels like people run the other way. The harder we try to prove our worth, the more invisible we become. And soon, you find yourself in a loop, exhausting yourself, giving energy away, waiting for some form of recognition that never seems to arrive. Here is the truth, people rarely value what is constantly available to them. It's human psychology. What's rare, what scares, what's slightly out of reach, that's what grabs attention. And if you have been making yourself endlessly available, endlessly giving, without holding back even a little, then you have unknowingly created the exact opposite effect of what you wanted. Instead of becoming magnetic, you've made yourself easy to overlook. But let's pause here. I want you to really feel this. This isn't about blaming yourself, and it's not about saying you're not worthy. Because you are. The fact that you give so much, the fact that you care deeply, already proves you have something rare inside of you. The problem isn't who you are, the problem is the dynamic you have been taught to live by. The world told you to chase, but it never told you that chasing repels more than it attracts. Imagine this for a second. You're standing in a crowded street, and someone is running desperately after a bus. Everyone turns to look, not because they admire that person, but because desperation catches the eye in the wrong way. Now imagine another scene. Someone is simply walking with calm confidence, knowing that if they miss this bus, another will come. People notice that too, but this time, it's admiration, curiosity, and even respect. The difference is subtle, but it changes everything. One scene screams neediness, the other whispers power. This is exactly why people don't chase you, yet. Because right now, maybe without realizing it, your energy communicates need, not presence. Your actions communicate, I will do anything for your attention, instead of, my attention is something valuable. And when people sense this imbalance, they don't move closer, they move away. But here is the beautiful part, this dynamic can be reversed. You don't need to change your personality, you don't need to pretend to be someone else, and you don't need to play manipulative games. What you need is a small shift, a subtle move that flips the energy from chasing to attracting. A move so simple, yet so powerful, that once you start practicing it, people will naturally lean in, curious, drawn, eager to know more. That's what we're about to uncover together. Because while the world might have told you that the only way to be wanted is to chase harder, I'm here to show you that the opposite is true. And once you understand this shift, Once you feel it in your bones, you'll never see interactions the same way again. So the real question is, if chasing doesn't work, then what does? And what is that one subtle move that can change how people see you forever? Let's get real for a moment. If you've ever chased someone's attention, you know exactly how it feels. You send the first text, then the second, then maybe even a third, hoping they'll finally respond. You go out of your way to make yourself available, to prove that you're worth their time. But what happens? The more effort you put in, the colder they become. The more you push, the more they pull away. It feels unfair, even cruel, but there's a deeper reason behind it. Imagine someone constantly running after you. At first, maybe you'd feel flattered. It feels good to be wanted. But over time, that same energy starts to feel heavy. It creates pressure, not excitement. You no longer feel curious about them, because everything about them is already exposed, already predictable, already guaranteed. This is the invisible trap of chasing. What you give freely and excessively loses its value in the eyes of others. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. We tend to value things more when they are limited, rare, or slightly out of reach. Think about luxury items, limited edition releases, or even the way people talk about opportunities. The rarer something is, the more we want it. And the opposite is also true. The more abundant and easy something feels, the less urgency we have to pursue it. Now apply this to human behavior. When you're always available, always chasing, always proving yourself, you accidentally signal that your attention is cheap. And when attention feels cheap, people don't run after it, they take it for granted. Let's tell a quick story to bring this to life. Picture two friends, Alex and Jordan. Alex is always the one initiating, texting, calling, suggesting plans. Whenever Jordan cancels last minute, Alex forgives instantly and suggests another meetup. Alex thinks this persistence will eventually make Jordan appreciate the friendship. But here is what happens instead. Jordan slowly starts to pull away. Not because Jordan is cruel, but because human nature responds to abundance by devaluing it. The more Alex gives, the less Jordan feels the need to invest. And one day, Jordan barely notices when Alex stops reaching out. Now, let's flip it. Imagine if Alex had given space, shown independence, and valued his own time as much as Jordan's. Suddenly, Jordan would notice the absence. Suddenly, Alex's attention wouldn't feel endless, it would feel rare. That shift alone changes the dynamic completely. The trap of chasing is subtle because it feels logical at first. You think, if I show them how much I care, they'll value me. But people rarely work that way. Attention isn't earned by force, it's attracted by presence. The more you chase, the more you communicate imbalance. You're essentially saying, my time and energy belong to you, even if you don't give me the same in return. And once people feel that imbalance, they start pulling away, not consciously, but instinctively. There is also another layer to this, energy dynamics. Every relationship, whether romantic, social, or professional, carries a certain balance of give and take. When one person chases, they give more energy than they receive. Over time, that imbalance drains them while also making the other person feel overpowered. Nobody wants to feel smothered, even if they once enjoyed the attention. And ironically, the chaser ends up losing both their energy and their dignity, trapped in a cycle that feels impossible to escape. You might recognize this in your own life. Maybe you have been the one always offering help, always checking in, always trying to keep the connection alive. And at some point, you have felt the sting of realizing the other person doesn't put in the same effort. That feeling of imbalance eats away at your confidence. It makes you question your worth, when in reality, the problem isn't you, it's the dynamic created by constant chasing. The sad truth is that chasing not only pushes others away, it also weakens your own sense of self. When you base your value on someone else's response, you hand them power over your emotions. If they reply, you feel good. If they ignore you, you feel crushed. That emotional roller coaster is exhausting, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of dependency. But here is the hopeful twist. Once you see this trap for what it is, you can escape it. You don't need to stop caring about people, and you don't need to turn cold or manipulative. What you need is to stop chasing and start shifting the energy back to yourself. Because the truth is, when you pull back, when you create space, when you value your presence, people naturally lean in. They begin to wonder about you. They begin to feel the absence. They begin to realize that your attention isn't something to be assumed, it's something to be earned. This is the turning point. Right now, you may have been stuck in the chasing trap without even realizing it. But the moment you decide to shift out of it, you start changing how people respond to you. And that's where the magic begins. So, if chasing repels people instead of attracting them, the next question is obvious: what actually makes people chase you? The answer lies in a subtle move, a psychological shift so powerful, it can flip the entire dynamic in your favor. Now that you have seen how chasing pushes people away, it's time to reveal the shift that flips everything on its head. There is a subtle move, so small, so simple, that changes how people respond to you almost instantly. It's not about playing games, and it's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about shifting the energy from chasing to attracting. This single move communicates value, confidence, and mystery, all without you saying a single word. So what is it? The move is learning to pause, pull back, and create space. It sounds almost too simple, but it's rooted in powerful psychology. Most people, when they want attention, lean forward. They respond instantly, they overshare, they give everything upfront. But the subtle move is the opposite. You step back slightly. You wait before you respond. You don't rush to fill every silence. You let your presence carry weight, and you show, through your actions, that your time and energy are not given away cheaply. Let's imagine a scenario. Two people are texting. Person A replies within seconds every single time, no matter what they're doing. They drop everything to keep the conversation alive. Person B, on the other hand, takes their time. They reply thoughtfully, but not instantly. They aren't rude, but they show that they have a life, priorities, and self-respect. Who do you think creates more curiosity? Who do you think feels more valuable in that dynamic? Always, it's person B. The pause creates mystery, and mystery creates attraction. This subtle move works because of something psychologists call the contrast effect. When people notice a difference in behavior, their brain pays attention. If you have always been the one to chase, then suddenly you start to pull back. It creates a shift in the other person's perception. They begin to notice your absence. They begin to realize that your presence isn't guaranteed anymore. And in that moment, curiosity and even desire begin to grow. Think about it like music. If every note is played non-stop without a single pause, it becomes noise. But when you add silence between notes, the music becomes powerful, memorable, and emotionally moving. In the same way, when you pause, when you hold back just a little, you give people space to feel your presence more deeply. This move is not about manipulation, it's about self-respect. You're not ignoring people to punish them, you're simply showing that your world doesn't revolve around their response. You are valuable. You have your own priorities. You are not someone who begs for attention, you are someone who chooses where to give it. And when you carry yourself like that, people can't help but chase. Now, let me share a story to ground this in reality. There was a guy named Daniel. For years, he was always the one chasing attention, in friendships, in relationships, even at work. He thought being nice and always available would make people like him more. But all it did was make him invisible. Then one day, he tried something new. Instead of rushing to reply, he took his time. Instead of over-explaining, he spoke less but with more presence. Instead of running after others, he started focusing on his own goals. At first, he worried people would leave. But the opposite happened. Slowly, people started asking where he was, why he hadn't been around, what he was up to. For the first time, they were chasing him. This is the power of the subtle move. By creating space, you shift the dynamic. By not giving everything upfront, you make your value clear. And the beauty is, this applies to every area of life, not just relationships. In your career, if you stop begging for validation and start focusing on your own growth, opportunities will start finding you. In your social life, if you stop trying to force connections and instead live fully in your own lane, people will be drawn to your energy. The subtle move works because it communicates one unshakable truth: you value yourself. Another important piece of this move is body language. When you're with people, notice how you carry yourself. Do you lean in desperately, or do you sit back calmly? Do you fidget nervously, or do you allow stillness to do the talking? Small details like steady eye contact, controlled pauses, and relaxed posture send a clear message: you are confident, grounded, and in no rush to prove yourself. This physical expression of self-worth is often more powerful than anything you could say. You might be wondering, but won't people think I don't care if I pull back? The answer is no, not if it's done with balance. You're not disappearing completely, you're simply shifting from overgiving to measured giving. The difference is that instead of flooding people with attention, you're offering it like a fine wine, in the right moments, in the right amounts, making it far more valuable. Remember this: people chase what feels scarce. If your attention is endless, there's no reason for anyone to fight for it. But if your attention is selective, if it's given with intention, people will begin to earn it, to chase it, and to hold on to it tightly once they have it. So the next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Breathe. Step back. Let the silence work for you. You'll be amazed at how quickly people start leaning in when you stop leaning forward. And here is the exciting part: this shift is just the beginning. Because once you start practicing this subtle move, it doesn't just change how people see you, it changes how you see yourself. It gives you confidence, clarity, and a sense of control that chasing could never provide. Now that you know the subtle move, it's time to take it one step further. Because while this move flips the dynamic, the real transformation comes when you start living as if you are the prize itself. And that's where we are headed next. Up until now, we've talked about the trap of chasing and the subtle move that flips the script. But here is the ultimate shift: it's not just about pausing, holding back, or creating space. The real transformation happens when you start living with a mindset that says, I am the prize. Not in an arrogant way, not in a fake or forced way, but in a grounded, confident way that communicates, my value exists whether anyone notices it or not. Living as the prize means you stop begging for attention and start recognizing that your attention itself is valuable. Think about it: when you truly believe your presence has weight, you don't waste it on people who don't respect it. You stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. Instead, you focus on building yourself, nurturing your passions, and living in alignment with your values. That energy is magnetic. People chase not because you demand it, but because they can feel that your approval isn't automatic, it's something meaningful. Let's paint a picture. Imagine walking into a room where everyone else is trying to impress, trying to stand out, trying to get noticed. Now imagine you, calm, grounded, not rushing to prove anything. You speak when you want to. You laugh when it feels genuine. You carry yourself with an ease that says, I belong here, and I don't need anyone's validation to confirm it. Who do you think people will be drawn to? The loudest voice fighting for attention, or the quiet confidence that radiates self-respect? Almost always, it's the latter. This mindset shift is powerful because it taps into a truth most people forget. People value what values itself. If you treat your time, energy, and presence like they're precious, others will start treating them that way too. But if you hand them out freely to anyone, people will assume they are worth nothing. Living as the prize is about protecting that energy. Here is another angle. When you're the prize, rejection doesn't sting the same way. Why? Because your worth isn't on the line anymore. If someone doesn't chase you, you don't crumble. You don't spiral into self-doubt. You simply think, that's fine. Not everyone deserves access to me. That resilience makes you unshakable. And ironically, the moment you stop needing people to choose you is the moment more people start choosing you. This doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. Living as the prize is not about building walls, it's about building standards. You still give love, you still care, you still connect. But you don't give blindly. You don't invest where there is no return. You share your attention with people who actually value it, and in doing so, you increase its impact. Here is a story to illustrate. There was a woman named Maya who always tried to be everything for everyone. She'd rearrange her schedule for friends, overextend herself at work, and say yes even when she wanted to say no. People liked her, but they didn't chase her. They expected her to be available because she always was. One day, she shifted. She stopped over-explaining. She started saying no when something didn't align with her. She spent more time building her own projects and less time begging for attention. Slowly, people noticed. Friends who once took her for granted began asking for her time. Colleagues respected her boundaries. Even in her dating life, the energy shifted because suddenly, Maya wasn't chasing. She was the prize. That's the empowered mindset I want you to step into. It's not about being the loudest or the most popular. It's about carrying yourself with a quiet certainty that your presence matters. And when you live that way, people feel it. They lean in. They chase. So the question becomes, how do you start living as the prize today? It begins with 3 small shifts. Protect your attention. Stop giving it away to anyone who doesn't value it. Invest in yourself. Build your skills, your passions, your health. The more you grow, the more naturally magnetic you become. Set standards. Don't lower the bar just to be liked. Let people rise to meet you. Once you practice these, something magical happens. You stop obsessing over who is or isn't chasing you. Instead, you focus on becoming someone so centered, so empowered, that chasing becomes a natural side effect. And that brings us to the final step, because while living as the prize is powerful, there's one last piece that makes you truly unstoppable.